Welcome to episode 33 of ChoralEd. I'm your host, Micah Bland. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Today, as we conclude our series on the adolescent voice, I am pleased to welcome to the show Dr. Greg LeFils. Dr. LeFils currently serves as Assistant Professor of Music Education at Stetson University and will be sharing techniques for developing the adolescent voice through self-efficacy and pitch matching. I hope you enjoy this presentation by Dr. Greg LeFils.
Hi there. My name is Dr. Greg LeFils, and I'm on the music education faculty at Stetson University down in beautiful DeLand, Florida. It's quite an honor for me today to record this video for ChoralEd YouTube channel. As you can see on the screen, it's entitled Harmonizing Confidence, a Guide to Building Self-Efficacy and Pitch Matching. So what is today's presentation all about? I'm going to define what is this thing called self-efficacy. How can choral directors build the efficacy beliefs in their students, as well as matching pitch. I know matching pitch strategies is something that choral directors need to be aware of. And how does matching pitch correlate with singers' efficacy? I don't know. We're about to find out. Let's start with some definitions. Efficacy basically is a fancy researchy term for confidence. As you see on the screen there, it's defined as one's belief in their ability to succeed really in the tasks that they're doing. Two things here. Individuals with high belief exert greater effort and increased perseverance in achieving their goals compared to those with low efficacy beliefs. Basically, in our choir, our students who have high efficacy beliefs are going to do two things for us. One, they're going to try harder. Yay, I like the sound of that. And two, they're going to try harder for longer periods of time. They're going to persevere. So that's the goal, really. We want these high efficacy beliefs in our students because if their efficacy is low, guess what? They're not going to try as hard. The learning process is going to take a longer time. And they're not going to try as hard for very long. There's going to be a point where, like a sponge, can't absorb any more water. They're done. So efficacy beliefs, we need to pay attention to that. So who's in charge of these efficacy beliefs? Is it the students? Is it us? Well, if you look at some research in athletics, when we look at group efficacy beliefs, it is the coach or the team leader who is in charge of those efficacy beliefs. If we can take a transfer moment, pull that over into our choral program, who's in charge of the group efficacy beliefs for our choir? You guessed it, it's us. It's the choir director. We are the dynamic leader in the classroom. It's up to us. If we want high efficacy beliefs in our students because we want them to show a lot of effort and we want them to persevere, then we need to be intentional and strategic with how we are building these efficacy beliefs into our rehearsal. We're not going to just let this happen by accident. If that's the case, then you're going to have some students with high efficacy beliefs. You're going to have some with kind of like mediocre beliefs, and then you're going to have some that are just really low efficacy beliefs. And guess what? They might leave your choir. So be strategic, be intentional, have a goal with your efficacy beliefs, and take control. You're the dynamic leader. But don't take my word for it. Here's a quick quote by Vincent Oakes. He says that it is the confidence of each individual singer that must be carefully considered and consistently encouraged. I'd like you to draw your attention to the last two words, consistently encouraged. I think this was brilliant by Vincent Oakes here. If another quote by Bob Duke, he says that as we're building habits, with any of our musical learners, we need to have multiple productive repetitions over time. Efficacy, in a sense, our students' confidence becomes habitual. We can't just plan one activity at the beginning of the year or once in 9 weeks that's kind of designed to build the efficacy beliefs in our choir and then just kind of forget about it. No, it needs to be encouraged daily. It needs to be encouraged consistently, day in, day out. If we're thinking as efficacy like a habit, then we need to have multiple productive repetitions over time if we're going to increase the habit strength of their efficacy beliefs. So Vincent Oakes, brilliant. Bob Duke, also equally brilliant. Let's keep rolling. So how can we do this? How can a choir director instill greater efficacy beliefs? I have a bunch of ones here. Number one, set clear goals and expectations. Your students need to know exactly what is expected of them for a task, for the day, for the week. The students need to know what's the goal, what's the purpose. Why are we going through all of this trouble in this rehearsal? They need to know where we're going. It's like a road trip. So I'll take a quick little transfer moment with you as well. I have 3 daughters. My wife and I are both music educators. We're blessed to have this summer time where we can take family road trips. Well, let me tell you, if my daughters don't know exactly how far we're driving today, and if they don't know what are we going to see along the way, what's the goal, what's the purpose for driving today, the chances of them bickering in the back seat, ladies and gentlemen, it's just going to increase. So as a parent, as music educators who's considering the efficacy, I let them know, hey, we're going to drive for 6 hours today. We're going to see this, this, and this. We're going to stay at this place. And remember, if we drive 6 hours today, that means we only have to drive 2 hours tomorrow. So take that quick transfer, apply it into your choral space. They need to know, what are we doing today? Why are we doing it? Next one, provide feedback and reinforcement. If, as choir directors, we're giving a lot of feedback, but a lot of the times we're giving feedback to a section or to a group of students or to the entire ensemble. We need to up our assessment game. We need to try to find more ways to give specific and related feedback on musical achievement for our individuals. Why? Because if our students are kind of left to their own devices as to how they're progressing as an individual singer, self-assessment is a very good assessment tool. However, it's also oftentimes inaccurate assessment. And when it's inaccurate, typically it's inaccurate that they're being too hard on themselves. If they're too hard on themselves too often, their confidence is going to be low. They're not going to try as hard. So we need to try to give them as much specific and related feedback to their individual musical achievement so that they can say, I was performing at this level 3 weeks ago. Now, based on the feedback from my director, now I'm performing at this level. I'm doing well. Guess what? I'm going to continue to try hard. I'm going to stay on this growth mindset train and get better day in and day out. Next, promote teamwork and collaboration. Another little transfer moment for you. Back in the early 2000s, before my wife and I started our family, there was like 4 or 5 years I was racing competitively on a cycling team, like the thin tires like Lance Armstrong. And I would go out on individual training rounds, training days, and it would be really hard. And if I'm going to be honest, there would be days where I would give up because it was just too hard. I wasn't feeling it. But then there were those days that I trained with the team. And we went in there and we knew exactly what training plan we were going to pursue for the day. But I tell you what, even though we knew the day was going to be hard, we knew that we were going to lean on one another. We knew that we were going to prop each other up. We knew that misery loves company. If we were going to go out there and suffer, we were suffering for a reason. We were becoming greater athletes. We were growing in our team strategies and recognizing each other's strengths and weaknesses. Transfer that into your choir classroom. It doesn't just need to be the director always giving and telling the students, this is how you get better. Make it more of a collaborative effort. Make it more of a teamwork effort. Give them 2 minutes. Break up in your sections and say, section leaders, you have 2 minutes. Look at page 7. Find 2 ways, maybe 3 ways to correct fill in the blank. Come up with a fix and be ready to report back to me. Go. That's just one quick way. I wish I could keep going on that one, but we got to keep going. Teamwork, collaboration builds confidence and efficacy. Next, offer opportunities for leadership and personal growth. Giving the students an opportunity to decide, to make decisions, to lead an activity, to lead a task, to take ownership of something in your program can go a long way towards building confidence and efficacy. If it is a leadership opportunity, be prepared, though, however, to give them the necessary training so that they do that leadership opportunity well. Because if they do it poorly, that efficacy is going to fall through the floor, right? So next one, teach effort and persistence. Effort, grit, persistence has to be taught to our students. We can't just assume that that's being taught at home or it's being taught in their communities. If we want them to show a certain kind of effort and a certain type of persistence in choir, we need to teach them what that looks like and how do we do it. As the choir director, set the example. Show that and have discussions about, yes, what I'm doing is hard, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to do better. Have your upperclassmen talk to your students about what it was like when they didn't make it into All-State their freshman year, but they worked hard and now in their junior year, now they finally made it. Next bullet point here, assign them to a comfortable range and choose music that fits that range. Having students singing in a section that is not comfortable for them is really detrimental to their confidence. If they know walking into the room that they know today is going to be uncomfortable and painful, it's not good. Get them in a section to where they can sing comfortably. You might need to change the key of a piece of repertoire. That's okay. You might need to arrange the repertoire. Maybe a student is only matching pitch within a given range. Arrange the music slightly so that the student is singing within that specific range. Moving on here, promote a positive and inclusive culture. There are so many survey studies out there where students tell us they prefer learning in a positive environment rather than an overly critical environment. However, when we, the teachers, the directors, video record our own rehearsals, oftentimes what the students are hearing over and over and over again is, fix this, now fix this, this isn't quite right, fix this, do this better. We're still not there. And it's kind of an overly critical environment. So without blowing smoke and without being disingenuous, find some authentic ways to where you can affirm and encourage and approve of what it is your students are doing. Again, you don't have to tell them they're great when really they're just being good at whatever it is. But you can say, hey, we're not there yet, but based upon what I heard from the beginning of class or from Monday, I'll tell you what, we are getting better. We've still got some work ahead of us, but you all need to keep working hard because it's getting better every day. Keep it up. How long did that take? 10 seconds? That could have been the comment that really moves the ball forward for some of your students. Last one here, foster a growth mindset. Too many of our students in this digital YouTube Photoshop age have this idea of perfection in their mind. And for some folks, being a perfectionist is very good, but also being a perfectionist could be very harmful as well. Let me give you an example. If they're not performing perfectly, then they're not going to be happy. Rather than having our students think about perfection, have them think about growing and developing every day. It's this growth mindset. Have an idea, have a value in your choral program that, you know what, today we're going to do this better than we did yesterday. Every day, find some type of choral behavior. Sometimes the students can choose it. Sometimes the teacher can choose it. Maybe the section leader can choose it for their group. But what are we going to do better today than we did yesterday? That way, every day becomes an opportunity for growth. Every week becomes an opportunity for growth, rather than just being unhappy that we're not perfect and then that affecting our efficacy. Focus more on getting better every repetition, every day, every week, every concert, every recording that we do. Try to get better every opportunity you get. There's your student efficacy, your self-efficacy. Now, let's switch gears now. I'm already 13 minutes into the presentation. I have to speed up a bit here. But matching pitch and the lack of matching pitch can also be very detrimental to the student's efficacy. As you see here on the right side of the screen, if they're not matching pitch, that can foster feelings of non-musicality, meaning, I'm just not a good singer. And if that happens for too long of a period of time, it can result in a total lack of confidence and reduced efficacy. They're not going to try hard. They're going to give up. In fact, in reality, they're probably going to change class. They're going to get out of your class. They're going to go take something to where they feel like they can be successful. So what do we have to do as a choir director? We have to identify who are the students that are matching pitch. That's the little area there in white. Yes, some are going to match pitch accurately. Down at the bottom of the circle, some of your students will match pitch, but only within a specific range. What do we do with those students? And then in the kind of lighter green, some of your students will be unable to control their voice with any type of ease. In other words, if we're going to help our students match pitch and build their efficacy, we need to identify who are the students in the class that are matching pitch, who are the students that are only matching within a certain range, and who are the students who can't match pitch at all. So how do we do that? Well, enter the Irvin Cooper group test. This is a treatment that you can do with the entire choir all at once. Have them sing a very simple song, something like Jingle Bells. And you're going to sing it at least 3 times, maybe many times. Irvin Cooper says start in D major. That way the first note of the melody is on F sharp, and the students who are matching pitch with a changed voice, you're going to hear them down in the lower octave. So yay, you can identify, all right, awesome. These are the students that have a changed voice and are matching pitch. Yes, good. Now change to G major. When you change to G major, and now they're going to be singing that B, you're going to very easily hear the students who are the treble voices or unchanged male voices that are taking the upper octave and matching pitch. Yes, also good. Now go to A major. A major will start everybody on C sharp. And in A major, you're going to hear those students who are cambiati. These are the students that Irvin Cooper would talk about are undergoing voice change. They're undergoing that change right now. These are the students that might have a very limited range, but they can match pitch right around A major. Yes, now we know who those students are. The students who aren't really matching pitch in any of the keys that you try, these are the students that you need to pull and find a time during the week and work with them individually. I would recommend individually. That way you can have more of a one-on-one process with these students. When you find that time, which by the way, when you bring it up to the student, it is not a punishment. This needs to be a very affirming and encouraging experience as you work with a student. Also, this is an opportunity for you as the teacher to further develop that trust, that teacher-student relationship, so that as we progress and as they develop in their pitch matching, that they'll work harder for you. So what are some strategies that we can help these students who struggle with matching pitch? Well, Dr. Alan McClung from University of North Texas has this 4-step process that, hey folks, I have used numerous times. It is amazing. Now, the only thing is, matching pitch becomes a habit. Again, Bob Duke, multiple productive repetitions over time. You've got to give yourself the time for these behaviors to build in. Minimum, I was seeing 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. But you've got to allow the time for these steps to go in. If you do, oh my gosh, I was seeing tremendous benefit for the students. Step 1, bring the student in, they sing a note, and then the teacher matches the note. Why do we do this? It's super affirming. The student already knows that they're struggling with matching pitch, and if they sing a note and whatever note they sing, the teacher matches it, maybe up the octave or below, depends on your situation. But all of a sudden, now that student, guess what? They're singing a right note. It's really encouraging. You can have discussions on what it sounds like to be singing in a perfect unison. You can even flip it around to where they sing that note again, and then you sing a different note. And you could say, okay, was I singing above you? Was I singing below you? This is what we call dissonance. This is what we call harmony. You could have lots of discussions. I would do that for a few weeks. Oh, I also need to add, each of these 4 steps is only like a 5-minute quick coaching session. So very, very brief. Once a week is really all you need. Step 2. Now you flip it. Now the teacher is going to sing a note, and then the student who you're working with will attempt to match it. Now, teachers, this is not an opportunity for you to try to get creative and crafty. Pick a note that you know that they can sing, and then have a lot of the same discussions. Number 3, pitch sliding. Identify a note on a piano or a note that you're singing as the teacher, and have the student slide until they're matching that pitch, and then slide from below until they're matching that pitch. Really useful. You're going to do that for a few weeks. And then finally, repeated pitch. Alan McClung talks about how if the student can sing like the word hey, H-E-Y, hey, 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 and march like around the piano in the choir room, repeating that pitch, over time, given all of those repetitions singing that particular note, when it's time to sing that note, we found that the students have a greater likelihood of actually singing that note. So, teachers, I'm right at 19 minutes and 30 seconds. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you found some value in this video. Again, my name is Dr. Greg LeFils. I'm on the music education faculty at Stetson University. You could find me on our website if you need some more strategies, or if I can be any help to you in your programs, please reach out. I'd love to chat with you more about this. Again, it's been an honor. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day.